My sinuses still haven't cleared up from the attack they made up on them. Made up on them. Did you hear that? Made up on them. Now look, let me tell you. As soon as I was coming out of it, like I think I documented it somewhere. I took a couple of photos, but I did not post them to Instagram yet. Right around that time, they started talking about how they've been. My camera has a red blinking light. I wonder if the whole system is offline. Right around that time, when they saw that I wasn't going to post it right away, they started attaching things to my nose. And I'm talking about, they said, we're putting these people back in there. And I feel a lot of tapping light sensations, you know, an impact from something being put on me. So when that happened, I'm talking about, it might have been 50 times that took place. Taking forever. No shisha. I mean, it ain't crack. And it ain't a cigarette. So look, even though that's blinking, it doesn't say that it's offline. Network request failed. The operation couldn't be completed. But it's not telling me anything about why. It's Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Saying they got mad about me. Look. They got mad about me taking that ladder in. I just changed. Look, you can see it right there in the back of this video. That little thing there is that motion sensor light. I moved it from my door. Did y'all just see that? I moved it from my door to because you know it swings and it comes on. Every time I swing it, it comes on. But also every time. That's not why I moved it. I shouldn't even said that. My internet is starting to wear out. Hopefully that'll stop. I'm so glad it did. I could not bring that ladder back out here again. So, that's not why I moved it. I moved it because I wanted to be able to come outside without being noticed. Every time I hit the door, obviously the light will go off. And ain't nobody near me, you know, like somebody might see me from a distance, you know, or notice the light from a distance. So it ain't like that. But I just like to come out and stand on the concrete, you know, like stuff like that in the dark. And I don't want to be illuminated or lit up while I'm doing that. Because it's just me trying to have a private moment for just a few seconds. Not like when I'm sitting outside, like, cause still, even if I sit outside, obviously now I'm going to be right underneath that, so I won't be able to move as much as I normally move when it was behind me, unless I sit over here on my step. That dog is going to fuck off. It is an agent. He's disguising his voice, him going off in the dog. With the dog bark. Anyhow, I'm having a rough recovery. I didn't do nothing today. I've been attacked real bad, but in a different way. You know, I never knew how debilitating sinus problems can be and how it can keep you down and keep you from doing stuff or getting to something. I didn't know about that because I don't have them. I don't have that problem. So, number one thing is that is not blinky. I really don't too much give a fuck about nothing else is going on. Like, this is supposed to be opened up already, like giving me a live view. You know they always interfere and interrupt with this. Right there. Camera is right there. Can you see the camera? Shit, I can't see the camera in this. Can you? It ain't that. Unless 1, 2 is in between the two, so it's somewhere in there. You might be able to identify it. I can't from the image, but you know this always happens. They don't allow my live view to work. So when I try to look into the space, you know, they make sure there's much delay, and that if there is someone there, they have time to get away. But you know, that's kind of like people trying to get near the house or being on the property. Other than that shit they pulled last week, you know, that's kind of the least of my worries. It was more so, especially at night, you know, like a lot of these things ain't allowed to leave the house at night. Just no different than I said that about Upland Avenue, but that's literally every neighborhood. Okay, like they got curfews. Everything is almost in a relationship, and they got curfews. So, oh my goodness. Here they come. Let me act like I'm on the phone so they don't try to, you know, talk to me or nothing. So, everything has curfews at night. That's the least of my worries. It's more so the animals, you know, like cats come and sitting on my porch and things like that. And I'm like, or either dogs and stuff. And I'm like, that's going to like cause a whole, it caused a scene. Because they would come and they would sit and they would like sit on my porch, or they roam all night and like set off my camera. So I figure if they saw this light, the light might scare them away. Okay, boom. And boom. They say when these situations are all in one place, they lose their mind and they start getting out and driving by and walking by. Now only this neighborhood, these neighbors know the real history of this place. Then there's that's the two small girls. You know, when they real bodies, because the government does stuff like that. I'm talking about one day they'll have them large and one day they'll have them small. They did that with Janisha. And others. They're all, that vehicle and them are at the easement right now, so I'm just kind of trying to pay attention just a little bit, you know, like to make sure no crazy stuff is going on or being said. The vehicle is partying. They walked to it, and then like I honestly think they might be coming back this same way instead of going around. Like they could have just walked the block, but no, they're coming back this way for sure. My sensory reception was being fucked with. Like the government was like, I could sense all the things that they were acting like was taking place and happening. So I had to just get quiet real quick. just a moment ago, one of the cops, the female cop, Michelle, while she was rowing, she stopped and she asked me, because I was sitting right here, but I was like down here digging, and I'm cussing to myself, right? And I'm like, I just motherfucking mowed this the other day. Why is this here? Like some grass that grew up like out of nowhere. So I'm pulling it up, and someone's like, are you okay? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fine, you know. And I turn around to engage, and she's like, oh, I thought you might have fallen or something. I said fell, and then I had to realize, you know, like I had to put the covert side to the side, because I know it was a suggestion that it was an elder. You know what I'm saying? But and then just kind of be like, you know, yeah, I'm fine. And the crazy part about that is that I just had a ladder out here moments ago, and it was a little shaky, you know. And she was like, yeah, something along the lines of, you know, the ground and stuff. And I told her, I was like, yeah, this yard is real uneven or whatever. And she was like, well, my name is Michelle. I'm one of the cops here in Asher, but that's not her exact words. And I said, oh, Christ, like carpentry. Are you fucking serious? This shit is not real. This is not real. This world is so fucking not real. These demons. So, but you don't say nowhere near here that have business going on here. Right here, just I think because you don't know my porch. But anyways, she's like, you know, told me who she was. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, my name's Tequila. And she was like, oh, I so love that. And I was like, yeah, you can imagine I got some stories. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, but yeah, that's my name. And it was nice meeting you. And she was like, it was nice meeting you too. And I told her, thanks for checking on me. Cause shit, everyone knows if something happens, shit, who I'ma call? Like, and what if I fail and you know, like, didn't severely injure myself? Like we're talking about, it's just a little. And sprain ain't little. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. But if I just, you know, like, it bent too much to the left or right, and I'm down here and I'm like, you know, fucking around with it, and so the bottom line is, hold up, because Magic Pixels is taking over this video as it is. The bottom line is, I ain't got nobody to check on me. You know what I'm saying? So all in all, that wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I told her I see her rolling during her shift sometimes. Which is another plus. I told you, while they're trying to paint all paint all these false pictures of paranoia to call me Julie. Like, who stays behind me? Like, it's such a safe fucking area, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that was one of the reasons too. Like, I saw the crime rate was low. Well, I saw it was a little bitty ass population. That was like the most attractive to me. I'm like, I don't want to see no motherfucking people. But you know, I might have browsed over the crime stuff. You know, I think honestly that happened when I got to Oklahoma City. I remember being in downtown Oklahoma City and looking at the crime rates and, you know, what areas, you know, they always list them and stuff like that. And that's not even a real depiction, but it is a real depiction at the same time. I hate saying stuff like that because I can go into detail and make that make sense to you, but I don't have the words. So They're trying to turn up these sinuses on me again right now. So, it's been like probably earlier this week. I started sleeping. Well, I ain't getting no sleep this week at night until just last night. Like, so they were mad about me keeping the door open. And were it wouldn't let me sleep. I kept the inside door open, storm door locked. I was going to say more about it being safe. They took every thought. I'm talking about 2 sentences ago. I knew exactly what I was about to say to talk about how safe the neighborhood is, and now I got nothing. And then I got I got stuck staring at my nice little tree and looking at how mangy it is in a way. New word. You'll see that in other places. Old new word. It's a very old new word. One of the ones that I had taken from my vocabulary, and I recently got it back from watching Coraline. And I used it to describe some situations, and they just kind of like went overboard with it. It started with a mangy cat that was coming to my. You would have thought I was in a cloud of dust and inhaled sensory perception. Like, they got some fucked up shit going on in parallel reality. Oh, shit. I'm talking about just dust all in, like, nasal passage, throat, everywhere. Like, when I did that just then, when I was, I don't got time for this shit. Okay, hold up. Back a different way. They said he wasn't even looking at him and can identify his vehicle. You know, another one. I'm almost hungry, and I feel like if I don't keep this phone right here. I think that's what that was. I saw it from down here. But I went like this. Well, you can't like to see down there. Like right about where that car is now. That's what I know. Well, even further back than that. There's small space right here. That's what I look through. And it's in the direction of the other end of the street. Not the way he turned, but coming off of that street. Well, I'm not red. So, I mean, all is good. But y'all, look, when I came outside, then they had Julie stage. Okay? They kept saying I fell off a ladder last week. And that's why I wasn't working in my yard that she's claiming. But not only her, you know, it's everybody. You know how it goes. They said that's why I wasn't working in my yard. They kept claiming I fell off a ladder. And that's why, you know, I couldn't stop myself from acknowledging the overt, like, I mean, the covert stuff. And then had to smooth it over. Because I know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I know that nothing's innocent and nothing is by chance. That nothing, especially when it comes to me, is in good. I don't have the word. Anyhow, she was outside. Back to being outside with her dog on a leash. You know, it's so weird. Like, when they take these, it's weird. When they take these things off, the dark matter off them. You know, things they have, this, the demons they have attached to them, off them. They get loose and they get to, you know, it's noticeable. Because they started doing things that they weren't doing before. But in this case, like, when I moved in, first 4 weeks, she would come out, she would let the dog out, and she might walk out into the yard with it. Or she might let it out from the door. And then, out of nowhere, she started doing this occasional leash thing to suggest that she wasn't home and that they were out and about. Because, you know, that's some of those resources of the, all the resources of Satan. You know, that's some of the shit you can pull off. They change your whole motherfucking background. Like they do me every motherfucking night to fuck me over and claim that my space ain't mine. Pinning these other people's environments on me. So, she come out with them, and I automatically know she's trying to act like she's somewhere she's not. You know, as if she's might be on her road with her boyfriend, the truck driver or something. You get what I'm saying? Or either just traveling and out at a gas station, you know, letting the dog relieve itself. So I'm like, and her dog is mangy. but Julie is too, you know. So I mean, anyhow, I come out and they have them as her are in place to lie about what's taking place. I look, I notice her, and I only catch a glimpse of her. I'm talking about it was like this. And I go back to do what I'm doing, and what I was doing at the time was cleaning up my grills and putting stuff away that I don't normally have on that side of the yard. And she took notice, and she said a couple of things to herself, but I couldn't make them out. And that happened both times I surfaced over there, because when I noticed that she was out of concern that she might try to talk to me, after looking back at what I was doing, I finished that up quickly, and then I come over here because I wasn't done, and I grab my phone and I act like I'm on the phone. I set this 2-second alarm that I've had in place for the longest, okay? It'll go off. Let me show you. This has been in place for the longest time, okay? Boom. Hey. There was a delay because of the email that came through. Look at them tracking this shit online. You motherfucking demons, like, oh, demon ass devils. That goes off, and I make sure it goes 2 seconds, okay? So I'm quick. Boom, boom. As I'm bending this corner, coming back to right where I am on the side of the house, this alarm is going off, and I answer. I'm like, having a casual conversation, like, we have been discussing something, and, this is what I found to be true, and, I don't know about what else is going on, and, comparing, it was like we were comparing details. And while I'm on the phone, I told her, I said, well, I told her that I'm acting like I'm talking to. I said, no, like, honestly, like, I just finished up cleaning these grills, and I'm walking around, like, I'm trying to find a good place to sit right now, like, in some shade, because, it's a lot of sun near my porch. And, so I walked back there to my backyard, which is the area she was trying to claim. That's why they were so close to her fence. Or, I don't know whose fence that is. It don't matter. I was going to put up a whole nother one. Like, literally last week. I was going to put up a whole nother fence. It didn't even matter. And then I decided it wasn't worth me wasting money on. And I also decided that I could do it myself. But, it's one of those things, like, she don't come out unless she thinks I'm going to be out in the yard, like, and she has to let her pets out. But I'm talking about when she knows I'm going to be out, the bitch is right there on, like, waiting. Okay? And it says some things to itself. I couldn't make those out. Probably was cussing me out, saying the stuff that I say about her, because that's what demons do when they show up in these identities. They'll solicit the same thoughts about me because they're calling me them that I'm saying about them. Okay, so is this out? Just about. So I go and check, and I see it's a ton of shade back there, and I'm like, oh, I can bring my chair back there. This is what I'm thinking to myself, though. I'm like, because it really was a ton of sunlight on the porch. I'm like, man, I can bring my chair back here and sit back here, but I don't have nothing to sit, my hookah on. Like, what I'm going to sit my little situation on? I got a drink and hookah, and I don't have nowhere to put this stuff. I don't want to put it on the ground and constantly be, have to reach on. I'm trying to be halfway comfortable, okay? And yeah, it didn't happen. It didn't work. I come back, I finish up, put the table, I folded up, and the entire time they're going into a panic because they're like, what are these neighbors going to think if these things? She'd have covered up her grill, one of them ain't missing. She'd have put the table, folded the table up, like, this stuff ain't out stationed, like, it's gonna go into play. What are they gonna? And I said they're gonna think that I'm going away for a little bit. Like, what do you think? Like, I'm doing this because I'm going away. This is what I'm saying during remote neuromonitoring. Like, what kind of? It's obvious I'm about to go away for a little bit.